Hello everyone, my name is Salim and welcome to the Markets Breakdown Analysis for Thursday the 19th of October 2023. We'll be breaking down charts through the exact zones who are priced to close above potential buys or close below for potential sells as well. So looking at the daily candle for Wednesday, the daily has been extremely bullish, breaking and closing above this weak daily resistance formed on Monday. As explained on yesterday's analysis, we've mentioned how this daily resistance wasn't for price to retrace and let's say correct this whole move that happened on Friday last week. And the reason for that is because, the other confirmation we've had is how the daily candle for Wednesday, for Tuesday has been printing. And one of the reasons why I was seeing more of like a pullback and a continuation to the upside is because when you look at the weekly candle, the last weekly candle closed strong bullish, no wick at the bottom, really small wick, and then no wick at the top. So there was no rejection for price to retrace. If there was a rejection on the weekly, maybe we could anticipate for price to retrace and correct this move. Now the anticipation was to see the weekly candle to retrace, and once price break above this previous weekly high, there was a higher probability for price to continue bullish to retest these weekly resistances. And as we can see, the daily candle for Wednesday retested the monthly resistance formed back in August 2023. And this is why the daily is retracing from this level. So now to break down the chart. So looking at the daily, obviously the daily will be closing bullish, and now the anticipation for the new daily candle more likely will be a retracement and continuation to the upside. But we might see again a rejection around 1965 because we have a monthly resistance formed recently. So drop it down to the daily, the 4-hour time frame, we have the most recent 4-hour support formed around 1945 200. The most recent 4-hour resistance formed on the left, and let's have a look. We have a 4-hour resistance formed around 1952 100. Zooming in and going back to the recent price action and dropping down to the hourly time frame. Now we have an hourly support formed around 1945 100, a new level of resistance around 1954. Dropping down to the hourly to the 30-minute time frame, we have another 30-minute support around 1942 900. We have a level of resistance around 1955 400. Looking at the 50-minute time frame, that's another level of support just below that 30-minute support, and we have the same level of resistance as well. So I'd say now to identify the no trade zone, and I'd say ideally for potential buys, ideally is to wait for price to break and close above 1957 100. And the reason for that is if we were looking for buys above 1954, the next level we have is an hourly resistance, and this is a really small range. So potential buys above 1957 100, potential sells, we could have sells below 1943, and this is going to be the no trade zone. And now to look for potential buys, and again, as mentioned, more likely this is going to be a retracement on a daily for Thursday, and then once price flips bullish, the anticipation is to see this wick fill and price retesting the monthly resistance formed in August 2023. So the first thing we're going to do here is potential buys. We have a monthly resistance formed around 1963 900. Drop it down to the weekly, we have a weekly resistance formed around 1962 300. Drop it down to the daily time frame, we have a daily resistance formed around 1963 900. Looking at the 4-hour time frame, and more likely we will find another level of resistance above this level around 1970. For target, since we have a lot of volume in the market, more likely we will be looking at the high time frame analysis, like the high time frame targets, meaning supports and resistances. So I'd say the first target for buys could potentially be 1963 900, which is a monthly resistance formed in August 2023, and a daily resistance formed in August 2023 as well. And the second target for buys, now we have a daily resistance formed around 1972. Drop it down to the 4-hour time frame, and looking on the left, we have a 4-hour resistance around 1970 700. So I'd say the second target for buys could potentially be 1970 700, targeting this 4-hour resistance. And now to look for potential sells, and going back to the daily, the first thing we can see here is the anticipation for sells is to anticipate for price to retrace and retest a certain level before the continuation to the upside. So the first thing we can see here is we have this previous daily resistance formed around 1934 100. Drop it down to the 4-hour time frame. Now within the 4-hour time frame, we have this 4-hour rejection. So let's just adjust this here. Drop it down to the hourly time frame. Now we have an hourly support around 1935 900. Drop it down to the 5-minute time frame. This is a 5-minute support, and more likely will be the same on the 15-minute time frame. So I'd say the first target for sales could potentially be 1935 900, targeting this hourly support. The second target for sells, now we've had this daily resistance around 29 300. Drop it down to the 4-hour time frame. Again, this is a 4-hour resistance. Looking at the hourly, a previous hourly resistance. Looking at the 5-minute time frame, that's the same thing. I would say the second target for sales could potentially be 1929 300, targeting the daily resistance formed, I'd say within the daily resistance that was formed on Monday.
Dominion Markets, your trading sanctuary.